The LAPD is cracking down on animal cruelty, often linked to drug trafficking, domestic violence, and child abuse. Jamie Garrison visits the West Valley Animal Care Center and has the story.
Although animal cruelty is a massive problem, Joe Sewell of Lifesavers Adoptions manages to save a blind Cocker Spaniel.
I usually get online and kind of cruise the LA Animal Services website to see if there's any older or senior dogs that are hurt or injured, and I usually come and rescue them.
The Los Angeles Department of Animal Services says animal cruelty is one of the most destructive forms of criminal activity. Animal Control says that depending on the case, offenders can face fines, imprisonment, or both.
Beating, shooting, stabbing of an animal, they can be prosecuted and get up to 3 years in state prison. Dog fighting, we ask for a minimum of 3 years for the first offense. So it really depends on what type of case we're handling.
In efforts to crack down on individuals involved in cockfighting, dogfighting, and other forms of animal abuse, such as neglect, beatings, poisoning, and torture, the Los Angeles City Council has created a unit of prosecutors to aggressively seek tougher sentences for offenders. These prosecutors will work in conjunction with the Los Angeles Police Department and the Animal Cruelty Task Force to investigate severe forms of animal cruelty.
It has a lot to do with demographics, financial situations, gang activity has a lot to do with, such things like dogfighting and cockfighting.
The Los Angeles Department of Animal Services says animal cruelty can be inflicted in a variety of ways, and the cause of this type of behavior is sometimes undetermined. Most animal cruelty cases involve pit bulls, which is the case here. However, every animal is looking for a wonderful, loving home to be a part of.
Good girl. It was cold in that shelter.
We need more angels out there to come and help these dogs in the rescues and the shelters.
I'm Jamie Garrison in Chatsworth for Valley View News.
And now a look at sports with Tamara Tartier.
Cal State Northridge men's basketball team returned from the NCAA tournament last week. Despite an opening round loss, they received a warm welcome. Valley View's Spencer Lazara was in the Matadome for the rally honoring their successful season.
The team received a standing ovation as they entered. The fans appreciated the effort given a week prior, where the Matadors nearly defeated highly ranked Memphis. During the rally, the team was presented with their second straight Big West Championship plaque. Also presented was the conference tournament trophy signifying their trip to the Big Dance. Head coach Bobby Braswell received his second straight Big West Coach of the Year award, but was his usual humble self when asked about the honor.
A good coach is only as good as his players are, and I've been very, very blessed to have a group of guys, especially this year, that believed in what we were doing. They trusted, they kept believing in it, even when things got down a little bit.
Down a little bit is putting it lightly. The team lost leading scorer Dion Tresvant due to his involvement with Coach Braswell's son in a theft incident. Then, as they seemed to be regaining their focus, point guard Josh Jenkins was also lost for the season. He was the passenger in a car accident where his friend driving was killed. Somehow, after all this, Coach Braswell got his team to play at the highest level they had all season and earned the second NCAA tournament berth in school history. Braswell has already turned down numerous job offers from larger schools in recent years and will surely receive even more after this successful season. But he told me he's still a Matador.
I have a contract, I have a job, and God has really blessed where I am, and we'll just keep plugging every day, coming in and working hard for Northridge, and those kinds of things will take care of itself.
Senior Tremaine Townsend says this end to his career was a dream come true.
It's what everybody works for, to go out like this, to through all the hard work, win that conference, and get to go to the tournament.
Underclassmen such as Willie Galick and Mark Hill were also pleased with this season's outcome, but were quick to state next season's goals.
I'm going to come back here, we're going to try to go for the three-peat run. Three-peat. We want to go for it again. And once you get a taste of that, you don't want to settle for anything less but the NCAA tournament now.
This team persevered through numerous off-court issues this year, earning something that can never be taken away from them. A spot in the 2009 NCAA tournament where they nearly pulled off one of the biggest upsets in the long history of that tournament. In Northridge, Spencer Lazara, Valley View News.
Final four is set. UConn and Villanova punched their tickets on Saturday night. Sunday, we would find out who would join them. North Carolina facing Oklahoma. Tar Heels led the whole way. Oklahoma would make a run. Austin Johnson lobs it to Blake Griffin, who throws it down. But Ty Lawson would come down, nails a three to put the game out of reach. North Carolina wins and heads back to the Final Four. Louisville and Michigan State. Magic Johnson in attendance to watch his Spartans. Midway through the second, Darrell Summers heats up, knocks down a three, splash, then drills another from downtown. Summers had 12 points off the bench to help the Spartans pull away. Michigan State wins 64-52 and advances to the Final Four. Final Four is set for Saturday. UConn will face Michigan State, and North Carolina faces Villanova. Mavericks owner Mark Cuban found another way to communicate his frustrations with officials, using Twitter, which led to a $25,000 fine by the NBA. The Mavericks owner posted a tweet criticizing officials after he thought a player from the opposing team should have received a technical for coming off the bench to taunt one of his players. Cuban responded to the fine using Twitter, saying, "He can't say no one makes money from Twitter. Now the NBA does." An exciting final round of golf at the Arnold Invitational at Bay Hill in Orlando, Florida. Tiger Woods entered the final day down 5 strokes but would battle back. On the 18th hole, Sean O'Haire had a chance to pull it away, but comes up short, leaving the door open for Tiger Woods. Woods would nail this 12-foot putt for birdie to win his 6th Arnold Invitational. Woods' last win came at the U.S. Open in 2008 and now has his sights set on the Masters just a week away. The 2009 Cal State Northridge Athletic Hall of Fame induction ceremony was held last month at the Warner Center Marriott in Woodland Hills. Valley View's Spencer Lazara spoke to CSUN President Jolene Kester, who was on hand for the event.
There's going to be over 350 people here to honor some of the luminary figures and teams in Matador athletics, so it's really great. You can feel the energy.
This year's group consists of 6 individuals in the first team induction in Matador history. That team is the 1970s baseball team that captured the Division II National Championship. 2 of the individual inductions were athletes that played professionally. Marcus Brady played quarterback in the CFL the past 7 years, and Brian Heinley currently plays basketball in Belgium. The induction that has done the most for the university and women's athletics in general was clearly Dr. Barbara Swerks. She, in essence, created the women's track team here at CSUN and coached her teams to 3 straight national championships starting in 1978. She talks about how her experience as a young female athlete influenced her.
It really started the passion that I had for expanding opportunities for women. That's why I started the women's track team here, and it just grew.
Also inducted was the greatest swimmer in Matador history, Jeff Kubiak. Despite being a walk-on, Kubiak was named NCAA Swimmer of the Year in '85 and '86. His experience at CSUN and relationship with Hall of Fame coach Pete Accardi were big reasons for his success.
Northridge was really, I did great there, but then that was kind of the building block that led me to greater things. So.
Kubiak went on to win the gold medal at the 1987 Pan Am Games and was hundredths of a second away from qualifying for the Seoul Olympics the following year. The remaining inductees were softball star Beth Wunstingle-Wohl, who won 2 national championships in 1985 and '87, and Marwan Assad, who put CSUN men's soccer on the map. This group of inductees into the Hall of Fame, including the 1970 baseball team displayed on this collage, is one to remember. In Woodland Hills, I'm Spencer Lazara for Valley View News.
That's a look at sports. Now back to you, Amanda.
Thanks, Tamer. College students in Texas soon may be able to carry guns to school if the state legislature passes a series of proposed bills. Weapons would be allowed on campuses for licensed concealed gun carriers only. Supporters say students should be able to protect themselves, while opponents argue that guns on campus will only increase fear among students and staff. Similar bills have been considered in 18 states over the last year. None have passed.
Fargo's Red River is receding after it swelled to 22 feet above flood level last week. The flooding has caused many evacuations. The National Guard and local residents built temporary levees out of sandbags. Area officials are pushing for federal aid to get permanent levees built. Melting snow from an enormous winter storm caused the flood.
After the break, a bunny-loving celebrity has put one of his mansions up for sale.
And a look at a skate park in Santa Clarita.